Well, the election is over, and while some are happy, others are disappointed. And there's a chance some people who voted differently than you are in your family or friend circle. Joining us today is Jean Holthaus, a clinician with Pine Rest, to talk about managing family dynamics. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
What do you do when you disagree with people in your life?
I think it's really important to look at, we have to respect one another's opinions, and can we actually get curious about why they think differently than we do, rather than trying to convince them that they should believe what we believe. Because usually people don't want to be convinced, and that just causes an argument. But if you get curious about, so I want to understand why you think or feel this way, sometimes you can get a better understanding of them, and you can understand, like, oh, I get how they got there.
Mm-hmm. How should you react when someone is happy about the election and you're not, or vice versa?
Mm-hmm. I think being able to say, you know what, I understand you're really passionate about that. Mm-hmm. And then you don't necessarily have to share that you're not, because it's probably not going to be helpful.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of that, though, it seems like everyone, is sharing their thoughts about the election and politics on social media. And you're kind of seeing some of that back and forth fighting in the comment section. People are passionate, right? And that's okay. But how can they best get their point across without starting an argument?
I think stating things as opinions rather than facts. When we take our opinion and we state it as a fact, then other people feel the need to prove our fact wrong, right? But if you can say, I feel or I believe, and I understand people believe differently than me, then you have more permission to say what you think, because you're entitled to your opinion, right? And then I think looking at, who am I really trying to convince? Because most of us really aren't convinced by social media of about anything, and a lot of fights start there. So why do I feel the need to share?
The holidays are around the corner, a lot of gatherings. How do you prepare, knowing you have someone like maybe an aunt or an uncle or a cousin who have, different viewpoints than you, and they may be kind of vocal at times?
I think sometimes you can establish some ground rules. Like, I really want to be able to enjoy you and hear about, since the last time I've seen you, rather than let's talk politics. But if you can't do that, I think being able to say, thank you for sharing, and then just move back to something that's a little different. And if it truly is someone that's a negative influence in your world, looking at how much time do I spend with that person? Sometimes we do have to say, you know what? I'm not going to go to that event because it's just not going to be helpful to me. And what I'm going to get out of it isn't worth what it's going to cost me. Can't always do that, but sometimes you can.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, if someone's really having a hard time right now and they know, okay, how I act, should they probably take a little break maybe from social media and certain people?
I'm telling lots of people that I see that only go to social media if it's actually helping you. Look at what is it doing if you're doing the incessant kind of scroll. Is that bringing your mood up, or is it bringing it down? And then you're in charge of managing that, so kind of filter how much you're seeing.
For people who are stressed right now, what are the best things they should do to ease that stress?
Focus on what you actually have control over. I think we have to look at, right now in this moment, what do you control? And right now in this moment, are you okay? And are the people you care about okay? I think we can get into predicting what might happen as a result of, and maybe those things will happen, but also maybe they won't. And if we borrow that trouble ahead of time, even if it does happen, we're kind of prolonging how bad it is then, versus right now, am I okay? And right now, are the people I care about okay?
So if someone has a gathering that's coming up, we kind of talked about this, but if they know going in, okay, there's going to be a lot of people there who voted differently than I did.
Yep.
What should they be kind of thinking before they head into that? Should they maybe think, maybe I shouldn't go to that, or?
They could. I mean, I think you have to weigh, do I really want to go? Is it worth it? And then what's going to be my turn point? Like, how am I going to say, thank you, and what am I going to move back to that we maybe all could agree on? Because I think we all are, regardless of who we voted for, we're probably passionate about our country thriving. And we can kind of have that in common, and we can kind of pick out the things that we have in common rather than focusing on the differences in how we want to get there.
About 36 seconds left, Jean.
Yep.
Best piece of advice right now?
Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. Great conversation.